And as you can see from the tail of the tape, look at those two men, both 8 years of age, both 5'6". The difference is in the record. Young is notably more experienced, but apart from that, they are mirror image fighters, which means this is truly set up to be the immovable object versus the unstoppable force of world title bouts. It's going to be that explosive, and our world-class master of ceremonies, Buddy Johnson, is just the man to get this one underway.
RDX Sports Giant Inside presents live tonight 3 Arena Dublin, Ireland. Champion versus champion. Ladies and gentlemen, BAMMA Dublin brings you 3 5-minute rounds of championship action in the flyweight division. This is for BAMMA's flyweight world title. Introducing first your challenger for the title in the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighing officially at 125 pounds even. A professional record, 8 wins against 4 defeats. Representing training unit from Valencia, Spain, he is your reigning RDX flyweight champion, Daniel Barez. And his opponent in the red corner, your champion, standing 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighing officially 124.8 pounds. An official record, 11 wins, 8 defeats. Representing next generation Northern Ireland from Northern Ireland, your reigning, your defending BAMMA's flyweight champion of the world, Andy Taz Young. When the action begins, your referee in charge, Mr. Daniel Mulcahy.
Chris, one of the most eagerly anticipated bouts.
This is a world title fight. You're clear on the rules, you know what I expect from you. Any questions from you? Any questions from you? Touch gloves, have fun.
These two men, as we said before, mirror images. There is so much gas in the tanks. It doesn't matter how many rounds. These two are not going to slow down. We've been talking about this one. When we saw this on paper, we thought this could be one of the bouts of the year.
Sometimes in MMA, you get one of those matchups that you dream about where both fighters can bring it in every single department. Who knows what's going to happen? We're going to find out right now in this BAMMA world title fight.
Both men, as we said, 28. Look at their body shapes. Look at the equal height. They're looking across at each other. They're mobile on their feet. But we know that both men, their strength is adapting to their opponent. That's what makes this even more intriguing. That's one of their great strengths.
So a little bit of a feeling out process thus far. It's worth noting that Barez has also got a really storied career in K1. So despite the experience differential, he has had quite a few martial arts fights.
And the thing, as we saw against Curtis, he's so adaptable, isn't he? This is one of the terms that Taz mentioned. Andy Young said about his adaptability and flexibility, but that's what we saw exactly in his opponent.
Especially when you consider the fact that Young went out and said, I really didn't train for my opponent. I just tried to improve in every single area. I tried to get better, upgrade my skill sets to be more complete. And that could be what it comes down to here tonight.
Well, you mentioned his win streak, and that comes with the maturity of everything, isn't it? The training, the work, and everything else that's going. We've watched this man mature at BAMMA.
Young doing a great job here, starting to establish the jab. Barez actually leading with kicks, particularly off that lead inside low kick.
Well, you mentioned his background, and that's what he's doing. He's targeting the legs of Andy Young, because we're talking about two very mobile men here. And mobility in MMA is different from mobility in other arts because of that explosive nature that's needed across many transitions. And it's a good tactic from Barez.
Especially mobility in the flyweight division. These guys just cover so much real estate. I wish we could get fight metrics, you know, about how much ground they cover throughout sometimes going a full 3 rounds.
Especially when we talk about the gas tanks in these two men, which they proved beyond doubt in their previous bouts.
Sometimes we see this though with, you know, two guys who have high-level skill sets all over. They start to kind of audit and exploit. They start to sort of download the options that they see what their opponent may look for. Andy, it seems right now, wants to get behind a good jab and punish Barez every single time he oversteps. Barez looking to attack the legs of Young and slow down his mobility and, of course, reduce his punching power. Nice kick there from Andy Young. That was good. He caught Barez moving into that chopped down good and hard.
Yes, it's beginning to heat up now, as you said in this opening round, and exchanging low kicks. Oh, that one strayed high, which is a shame. The momentum was just beginning to build there, Chris.
That's what you look for from a fighter like Barez. He'll take a kick and counter twice as hard. Or shall I say 20% harder.
Well, there was a little moment there earlier as well, which I love, when Andy looked to put the pressure on. He slipped off that centre line just enough to make him miss, so he's still in range himself. We mentioned the mobility. I think that's key to this, and I think both men are looking now to take that mobility away.
So the fighters have been sent to the neutral corners. Up to 5 minutes on the clock under the unified rules of mixed martial arts for recovery. No intent, but a warning given to Barez. When you attack that inside leg like that, you're often chopping upwards to attack the femoral artery. That blow can sometimes come out sort of offsides, if you will, but good thing to see the action back underway here tonight. 2 minutes.
And the mobility we've stressed before, but look at the footwork from Barez. Walking into the right kick, and he shrugs, but good work from Andy Young. And then he kicks lower. Young responds with a spinning back fist. Beautiful combinations from both men. We talked about mirror images. You saw it there. Backwards and forwards, Chris.
2 kicks to a double leg takedown. And then an exit without actually getting stuck in the clinch. Barez is very quick.
This is the thing for both of them. I love the way they're happy to defend while staying in the pocket. Have you noticed? They're never far from a return strike themselves because the distance in between the two, watch it. They always stay within striking distance. That's the confidence of two very competent young men.
Jab to a left hook there from Young. He's more or less throwing multiple strikes with that lead hand. Good coverage here from Andy Young off that left.
But again, look for the way that Barez, in defense, throwing the left hook as he's stepping back as well. That's what I love about these two. Offensively, defensively, they're still... Oh, the left hand from Barez, and he knew it as well, Chris.
Barez connects flush there. Young takes a nosedive. Good recovery there from Andy Taz Young, though. Barez says, let's go. This is what we saw in the Curtis fight. Switch kick there to the inside leg from Barez, turning it up a little bit.
Chris, Young bounced back up like he was on a trampoline. Down, up straight away. I have to look twice. Did he really go down? Incredible.
Barez is trying to open up his arms and goad Andy Young into chaos, into unfavorable traits. Young's going to be disciplined here, though. He's got a championship mindset. Perhaps a fighter of younger years would have taken the bait, but he'll take his time, he'll recover.
But Barez is impressive for me already here. We had a real feeling that this would be a hard task for the champion in his first defense, and so it's proving.
So we're gonna get a warning here about that extended arm. And that was something that Daniel Movahedi had actually warned him about earlier. That's an infraction under the unified rules. There's been, you know, some changes and some revisions. There's also been some adjustments to the scoring criteria. That's huge. You're not allowed to stick your arm out extended with the fingers open forwards. That's an infraction. You often see that skill in Muay Thai to post and control the distance. The problem is with these open palm gloves, the fingers can become sort of an obstruction and of course a danger. So that's a rough one for Barez.
That said, Chris, an intriguing opening round between these two men. The speed of both men here, and for me it was the speed of Taz's reaction. When he got knocked down, he was straight back up and saying to the ref, I'm fine. But the timing of Barez's left hook as well.
Excellent stuff there. Barez lined that up beautifully, dipped his head, turned, heel, hip, hand, turned his punch right over. Beautiful left hook there from Barez. That probably won in the round, the point deduction, tie round.
The thing here as well, though, we've mentioned a lot about mobility and motion in that opening round. But what there is there as well from these two, because of the defensive skill and their mindset, an economy of movement and motion as well.
And, you know, we are seeing more liberal 10-8 rounds under the revised criteria I just mentioned. It's worth noting. In my book, that wasn't a 10-8 round, 10-9, 9-9 given the point deduction.
So we're still everything to fight for. And this, as I said, bubbling nicely now as we approach round two. Barez certainly doesn't lack confidence in his attempt to take this title from Andy Young.
Young with good coverage here. We saw both fighters utilize a very disciplined guard throughout that first frame.
And Barez catches him again with the right hand, then the left explodes into action, and he's so dangerous as a challenger here, Chris.
Switch kick there, finishing in that beautiful Dutch-style combination of punches followed by kicks by Daniel Barez. The Dublin crowd on the edge of their seat here tonight. It is silent in here. Andy Taz Young has brought out a ton of support. That was another scary moment, Malcolm.
Well, the thing is, Barez has taken to heart the old adage that you've got to take the title from the champion. He's come here and he's saying to the judges, look, you've got to look at me. I'm here for real. Little uppercut there, though, from Young. This is picking up nicely now here in the second, Chris.
Young has got to turn it up a little bit now. I mean, 60 seconds in, second round. He's got to try and take over this fight before the midway point, before the 2.5-minute mark.
Well, the key thing here, Chris, is the two key moments of the bout. The two key moments have been both for Barez with those clever shots on the inside.
But what a match to make here in BAMMA. You know, the #1 show in Europe, a very highly coveted world title up for grabs. You couldn't have had a more picture-perfect matchup. Obviously, in some ways, their skill sets have canceled each other out a little bit, but an amazing night here in BAMMA Dublin.
Well, you've just started to hear the crowd get behind Young as he steps in, taking that extra little step now to throw those combinations. There's the lateral movement of Barez that makes him so difficult to hit cleanly and to really hit cold. And there you saw again the movement from these two men. But Young, for me, is just beginning to pick up the pace now.
Double jab there from Andy Young. The BAMMA world champion here, looking to try to score some points. 2 throwaway strikes, finishes with a hard low kick. Nice chopping low kick there from Andy Young.
He's stepping in heavier now, Chris. This is the difference. Watch when he steps in, just like that. He went for the single leg this time, but when he steps in, it's with more meaning and to close that gap quicker. And it'd be interesting because we haven't seen them really go to ground yet at all.
But look at the clock here. Just enough time for Andy Young to get things his way if he can get him down, but Barez pushes his way out of the clinch.
It's the same as we saw against Ryan Curtis. You ask questions of him, he does come up with answers.
Level change there from Barez. Gets the power double leg, runs him across the ring.
And
The
Chris
moment,
did that.
yeah, the moment your hips hit the floor, you've got to get back up. Smart there from Andy Young.
But for Barez, halfway through the fight, the timing, like a mental clock, went for the big takedown there. These are going to be key moments, aren't they?
Another hand out. Tough to say. I could not see it from our angle. This is really bad. I'd love to see a replay on that. Obviously, the camera angle on our monitor couldn't quite give us the angle of seeing what exactly happened, but I'm gathering that obviously it was another hand out. Maybe we'll catch it in the replay in between rounds, though. The action resumes.
This would be so unfortunate for Barez because he's doing everything else right. But Andy Young, as I said, he's taking extra steps in now. He's throwing combinations as he's going in. What that does is when you throw the combinations like that, he's limiting a dangerous striker just like this now, stopping Barez coming back with those cute little counters.
Barez, again, reaches for the single, can't get it, and he disconnects. We're seeing a much more disciplined approach from both fighters, comparing them sort of to their last outings, where they're really picking their shots, trying to rack up the points. Sometimes you've got to fight as smart as possible, and that means limiting the exchanges and making sure you enter and exit on your own terms.
For me, though, it's Young that is trying to pick up that pace, trying to push it forward. You watch, he steps in, and when he steps in, he throws the combinations like that, the double left, the straight right, which stops Barez giving those sly little counters.
Andy's doing a great job here of starting to pour some more volume on. Beautiful! Oh! Barez lands! Kick again to the midsection. Young back up.
And again, he goes down, he comes back up, but that shows the danger of Barez. The speed of the counter, the accuracy of the counter. He is so dangerous on the back foot, Chris.
Young now forced to defend up against the wire here. You notice the way he's fighting with the overhook, Malcolm, as well as framing up with his left leg. But he's got to watch and make sure he keeps his weight distributed properly, especially up here in the corner against the edge of the fence and the padding.
Barez goes for it again, though, Chris. I've got a feeling he feels if he gets a good takedown, a nice slam or something like that, that could be the round definitely in his favor.
Nice 1-2 from Andy Young. I want to see 3 and 4 punch combinations from Andy.
When he was throwing the combinations, Chris, when he was throwing them is when he was at least in danger of being caught back. That was the thing.
Barez gets the lift, can't quite flare the legs to the side, doesn't matter. Young trying to hit that switch. Tough to do right now, given the head position.
Chris, so much to talk about in that round. As I said, just when you think Andy Young was getting up ahead of steam with those combinations you mentioned to keep Barez at bay, just like he did against Curtis, Barez comes back, doesn't he?
And taking a look at some of the action here, Barez was able to kind of mix things up just a little bit more effectively and also land the most significant moments of the match. Big takedown here, preceded by some good connections. That should be enough to win the round, but a real scary moment here with the hand, that long guard, again, that we often see in Muay Thai. Barez is a K1 stylist, he's got experience. He knew he made a mistake there, but there again, the knockdown, the short knockdown, Young back up to his feet like a bouncy ball. What a round, Mel.
What a 2 rounds, Chris. So sum it up for me so far. We're going into the 3rd, and Young has certainly, as we thought, not had it all his own way. You could even be making an argument for the challenger. Is that a fair comment?
I agree. Third and final round here tonight at BAMMA Dublin, live from the 3 Arena. Great to be with you. I'm Chris Hoekstra alongside Malcolm Martin. What a night of big title fights. And we have Young and Barez with 5 minutes left to go. Who will walk away with that world title around their waist?
It's delicately poised, Chris. Barez has pushed and pushed. He's not been intimidated. He's stuck to a game plan. He stays in the pocket and fights back. And every time you see, just like this, every time you think Andy Young's going to get up ahead of steam, that little hook, he finds the target.
Nice check hook there for Barez. Young looking for the double. Barez actually circled and got his back to space. He avoids the edge, avoids the wire of the ring, because this is where Andy will have a little bit easier of a time taking him down.
Yes, Andy's asked questions, and just like previously, Barez seems to find the answers. I love his movement. I love the way he's always thinking, always moving. Andy Young, we said the same. We had a feeling they're mirror images, but I don't think Andy was quite prepared for how tough Barez is. And the real danger with Barez is off that back foot. He still throws that hook so accurately. Each time he has caught Andy in full flow.
Young has tried to threaten the shot to sort of stop the pressure, but it's like what we talked about in the walkouts, that 20% rule, the Barez 20% rule. He's been just that, more technically effective, and of course, has landed the most significant strikes of this contest.
And they're standing and striking again. It was Barez again, but this time, for the first time, there's a slip, and it's Andy on top.
This is where you gotta dig deep. You gotta really reach down and try to move forward here. The champ, Andy Young, trying to convert off a nice takedown. Plenty of time to go on the clock.
As you said before, Chris, it's key moments like this in the bout that are essential, and Andy really has to keep the pressure on here. It was a slip by Barez, probably the first major mistake he's made in the whole bout.
Young's got to go for it here. He's got to fight like it's his last 3 minutes on earth.
And he's going for it here, but Barez back up to his feet, takes a quick look to his corner as well. So calm and collected, he's really made a go of it here tonight and could still be taking that belt back. And there he is again. He's dangerous in the pocket here. He stays in front of Andy Young, and he normally wins these exchanges, which is the danger for Andy.
Excellent check there from Young. Digging to the body is Young. This has been good. This has been Young's best round.
Again, that lateral movement gets Barez out of danger at the last moment, and he throws that left hand on the end of it. It's still dangerous, but I agree with you. Young really looking to force the pace, doubles up the jab there. They're calling him on in his corner again. They want more of that. They want him to really put this pressure on, but again, straight right, left uppercut from Barez.
Barez turns into his strike, so much effort into those chopping low kicks. But you'll notice that when he throws those kicks, he's right back into position. As quick as those punches and kicks come out, they come right back.
And again, Young looking to pile on the pressure. Barez stopping him dead in his tracks with those counters. But Young, in this round, is really trying to push this pressure on now. I think he knows it's close. He's saying, I'm the champion. Here's the gas tank I'm famous for. He really is piling on the pressure now, Chris.
Good tidy boxing combinations here. Andy's controlling this, but it's a fight that maybe could have been about maximum pressure. It wasn't. It's about intelligent pressure.
And Young is really doing it now, as you said, that intelligently, and it's all from that beautiful double lead jab that he puts in. There it goes again. And each time, if you notice, for the first time, Barez is looking for the takedown because Young's boxing is finally coming into its own.
Young breathing hard here. Just over 60 seconds to go. This could be a tie fight if Young wins this round. Barez going 360 there.
And he's cut the champion with that spin. The nose is now bleeding of Young. He's shaking it off, it's like it hasn't happened, but we can see cleanly now the blood starting to flow. Barez so dangerous, so close.
Nice 1-2 there for Andy. What he does is he throws the combination, leans backwards, and then comes back in. He'll try to pull a counter.
I'm amazed that the champion just didn't allow that to affect him. He carried on like it hadn't even landed, and he's still forcing the pace now. Blood streaming down his face. Last 30 seconds of this title fight, the champion bleeding heavily, but still forcing the issue, still coming forward, Chris.
Barez beckons him on, looks for their single leg, head inside, trying to run the pipe. Can he get it?
Well, the champion bleeding to retain this title. Barez has, as we thought, asked lots of questions. He's still there at the end. We knew the gas tank would be there for both. And it's been intriguing, Chris. And again, another spin from Barez. And now he piles on the pressure. Young comes back at him in this last 10 seconds. Chris, this is on a knife edge, this one.
What a fight tonight here in Dublin. Barez and Young go the distance.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the BAMMA cage, your co-main event of the evening goes the distance over 3 rounds, and we go to your judges' scorecards. Our judges scored about 29-27, 29-27, and 28-28 to your winner by majority decision. And the new